those shirts. Thanks, guys.
I gotta ask with Rumble, was he based on anyone in particular, or just you go?
You know, I kind of had those kids that head-in kids. Remember the long time ago? They were
Greasers almost?
No, this is way before this was back like in Kevin. Can you help me? When were the dead-end kids? That 30s? 30s. No, it's not Kevin. He's going to be so angry with me. What are you talking to me for the 30s? I'm in the 60s and 70s, 80s. Anyway, there were Leo Corsi and Hunts Hall. But you know, Will was to spin these kids. Well, you guys don't say it, don't, you know, and then you take it into French, you just bring it up again, you know? I mean, Hunts Hall was like this shit. He was one guy. I almost used him for Ralph the God. But Ralph the God is an original character. I should go for president. You guys following that up here? Our presidents?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Must be you.
Okay, now we have Thomas Kim.
You just answered my question.
Well, Thomas Kim is very excited. All right, first one there, yes.
How would you describe your relationship with Peter Cullen?
Who put you up to this? Well, Peter Cullen is so much fun to hang out with. We spend a great deal of time, he's probably told you this too, trying to make each other laugh, playing gags on each other. Working with him, he's what we call a mensch. He's such a good guy. He's a generous actor. So whenever there's a line that comes up, he will help you with it. A lot of times you'll see me off camera. The read lines for the other actor while the actor's on camera. Well, same thing sometimes in the voice world, you know, where you gotta do some pickup lines. You just do it by yourself. Peter goes, no, man. I'll put myself through it for you. But he really, you know, he'll do anything, whether it's acting or on a friendship basis. He's a really, really good guy. And it's a lot of fun working with him.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I have to suck up to Peter, you know, or else I'm out of it.
All right, so apparently this next crop of questions were submitted by Mike Job and the Job Squad. So it's group questions, so there's going to be a couple people come up. So Mike, do you want to assemble your team?
Yeah, can I get Cooper, Tillman, and I'll wait up for questions.
Wait, what?
Cooper, 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 Cooper. Hey, man.
Red. Wait, me? Yes! Wait a minute.
Mother Bell Wave.
I am? Oh, okay.
Go faster.
Mike's the boss.
All right, let's get this started. How has it been returning to the Megatron role in recent years? How has it been playing multiple versions of the same character after helping to build such an iconic version as you want? I think this is something you touched on already.
Yeah, I think I've kind of touched on it earlier, but you know, when I first found out that there was a resurgence of the characters and Megatron was coming back, that they were going to do the features, it was really exciting because the G1 voice for Megatron was a total and complete original creation. A lot of the voices that you do, sometimes you'll pick up maybe a character like Red Skelton for Bullwinkle. Red Skelton was kind of the genesis, I think, for Bullwinkle. Oh, they need to think over there. Then it's turned into Bullwinkle. So sometimes you use things that are kind of other pieces of people's creations for certain things. And then the other side of that is when a director directs you away from your base instinct. So when I looked at Megatron originally on a piece of paper and I saw the drawing, what came out was those things, the voices from the voices and all those, and trying to create that character. But what we ended up with was those voices that were original and that were from your gut. Because sometimes when a director moves you in a different direction, it still works, but it's not your initial feeling, and you don't feel sometimes like you totally created it from your personal DNA. So then as you move on to the different versions of the character, now you have another opportunity to add something new, but there's people kind of moving you around a little bit. So you have the pleasure of the first original child. And then as you move into the other ones, it's a different kind of pleasure because now you're trying to do what a director wants you to do, what the producer and the writers want you to do. So it's another form of acting, trying to capture what they want and then still throw in your stuff. So, and then for Galvatron in the feature, Michael pretty much said to me, "Hey Frank, what do you think?" Well, that's the greatest thing you can say to an actor, because then, he's going to, well, give me some paintbrushes, I'm going to go to town. And so there's different enjoyments and pleasures in all three versions. And it's been a fun trip, good ride, still going.
Next, who were your mentors when you started your show business? What were the most important things that they taught you?
Well, in the voice world, well, first I was going to say maybe in the stand-up comedy world, I went out on the road with some different groups, the Righteous Brothers, and Bobby Hatfield was like my brother. He took me to the parties, he took me to the places to see where jazz and music was happening, and then I worked with a group called Brazil 66, Sergio Mendez. And their group taught me to drink just a little bit of brandy before you go on stage to clear the pipes. I'm 22 years old and brandy doesn't sound so bad. But it was strictly for medicinal purposes. And it was just a slight bit. And then the next thing is they said, you should wear makeup. Okay, waiter! But they were, so they were friends in show business and they were teaching me things. And the reason to wear makeup is because we're playing huge coliseums and auditoriums and they say your face is so expressive, you need people to see you. So in the early days, it was these musicians that were teaching me secrets and things, and also about how to use the microphone, drums, and all that kind of stuff. And then when I started getting into voices, as I said, I worked with Don Messick, the great Don Messick, Don's Butlers, Mel Blanc. Those are some of the older folks. And then just my fellow actors, are also inspiration and mentors.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Frank.
You are?
I'm Cooper.
I want to hear you say it! Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. Wear that hat.
I know. Got the rainbow thing going.
Okay, my question is, what's the most challenging monster or animal voice you've ever had to come up with?
There's been a lot of challenges. Can I tell you two?
He asked for what?
I know, but the other guy had half a question. He didn't, so I have half a question to go up and then apply it towards this.
I'll allow it.
All right, it's allowed.
You're deviating.
Okay, I'm deviating. It was actually one of the easiest, but it was one of the goofiest. And I'm trying to think of the picture. It was a long time ago. I think it may have been like my science project or something. I don't know, but there was a mouse that was underwater and was supposed to have a helmet on. And they said, we want the mouse to evoke and act and so on. And he's on the screen drowning, obviously. But, you know. So they have this little helmet on. They said, can you come up with some kind of sound for the mouse underwater? And I went, there's a challenge. Bizarre request. I just wanted to share it with you, just so that you know some of the stuff they asked us to do. But the most difficult and also a lot of fun was in species. Do you remember what was her name in there?
Has an enstridge. Sill.
Syl. And Syl was actually a beautiful model from New York who comes down from space, and her job is to mate with the most eligible male human to interject the species from outer space into the human being. And it was very disgusting. But on the train, there were these big eggs that were hanging there, and they had to have a sound. Which was a lot of fun. And then, you know, they hatch and they come out, but she's now around, and there was a scene that we worked on, and the director was great. When she, after she's mated with the male, then the way she disposes of the male is to stick her tongue through the back of his neck. You know, so you're kissing and she's gorgeous, and all of a sudden and he says, Frank, we need a sound. I won't do that for you. But there was, and then she goes on, and the way that they dispose of her is she's burned alive, and with her babies, she does a baby. So I had to do all of that screaming as a female creature from outer space. That was tough. I prefer the Barry White voice. But, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And in that screaming, though, there was a kind of a little tip on you, is using some different sounds that weren't quite so painful. And they take that and layer it over. Again, it's I love talking about myself.
Hello, sir. I'm not sure how I got up here, but I'm so happy to see you.
I can say the same. No idea what I'm doing.
Apparently, my question is as follows. There have been numerous revivals of many properties you worked on in the beginning, such as Transformers, Scooby-Doo, Ghostbusters. How has it felt to see new life come into these brands again?
Excellent question. You wrote that, didn't you?
The answer is yes.
The answer is. You know, it's amazing to see all of these, so many of these former shows coming back now as features. And there was even, I heard a couple years back, a Scooby-Doo play that was all across the UK. I think that they actually toured with a Scooby-Doo group on stage, which I'd love to see that, you know. But So the fact that that show has gone from movies to games to, it just goes on and on. But it's actually never gone away. The other shows that have kind of disappeared and come back. It's remarkable and really nice for those of us who worked a lot in the earlier days to see the stuff come back and give us an opportunity to perform, and to see what kind of new life these shows can take and where they're going to go with them and how the fans react. Once again, I want to thank all of you who've supported me over the years as Megatron. You don't know what a great difference you've made, and I appreciate it very, very much.
I don't know how I got up here either, as you can obviously tell from my reaction earlier. I wasn't even informed of this, but okay. So my question is, what has it been like to see the animation voiceover industry change over the last 50 years, and where do you think it's going?
Well, the CGI stuff, I think the example that I can see most apparently is the CGI that we did in Transformers Prime. In that format, the subtleties of the mouth movement, now you can start to see real words happening where, in animation, in the flat animation that we did in G1 or any of the old shows, we come back and loop for things that they wanted to change. Like if you couldn't say Tide detergent, obviously, then you'd come back and they, instead of Fred or Megatron, would say, Tide detergent, get him! It just was so easy because everything fit, so in good looping sessions, it was a breeze, I'm out of here. But now, when you do get into the subtleties of CGI, performance-wise, now you can really take more time. And when you're in these scenes, dialogue becomes really important. In G1, everything works, but it was a pretty high level and a lot of action, a lot of things going on full time. Now, in the newer CGI stuff, you can slow that all down and really get some evil juices. I will take my time. What I want, I will destroy you. Where before it's, I'm going to take a long time to destroy you. So I really think that that's kind of a nice thing for acting. It's a nice place to go. Plus the color and the places you can go now with this. And I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me, but what Disney did with the Jungle Book, I mean, that is just phenomenal. It just looks so real when it was carried. And I don't know what kind of technology that is, if that's a CGI combination of things, but it's where it's going, I think, is probably that direction. And I think for voices, it's just only better for us. And I don't know why you're up here, but I'm glad you came. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, our time is drawing to a close. That was a good question to end on. From the bottom of my heart, and every single one of these people here, thank you for your contributions to not only Transformers, but every piece of media you've been involved with. You have shaped numerous childhoods, and you continue to entertain us to this day. Thank you. We appreciate you. I want you to give Frank Welker a standing ovation.